Hello students of class 11. I am Rakhi Sharma. Students, this is the last video of the chapter The Address. In the last video, the narrator said that then narrator looked at the antique plate and then at knives, forks and spoons of silver. It means students, after watching the kettle, the narrator watched the special plates, knives, forks and spoons of silver which were used in her house, and her mother had told her about them. At that time she got to know that the cutlery they ate of every day was of silver. It means those were things which was told by her mother to the narrator, and with it she reminded about the cutlery which was made of silver and used every day. And then the narrator left the place to catch her train without meeting Mrs. Darling. After watching her all past things, she left the house of Mrs. Darling. She went to the station to catch the train without meeting with Mrs. Darling. Mrs. Darling, she came out and read the number 46 Marconi Street. Before reach the station, the narrator came out from the house of Mrs. Darling. She read again the address 46 Marconi Street. And students, in next point, she resolved to forget the address and the belongings also. It means so the narrator wanted to forget that address. It means the house of Mrs. Darling, and with it all things which had taken by Mrs. Darling, because she was so upset to see the bad condition of her things. And in last, the narrator says that as their true honor no longer existed, it means end. In the last at the station, the narrator talked to herself and said that those things were not her, because after giving the things we are not the owner of that things. And students, there is the character sketch of Mrs. Darling. There are some important points about Mrs. Darling, and there is the one question answer for you. You can write down with summary in your notebook, and I will send some questions for your practice, and you will write the answer to self. Okay students, this